you, ladies and gentlemen, for seeing the video. This is literally just to show you my merch shop. You're literally gonna head down to the description. You know, it says looking for merch. You're gonna highlight this and copy and paste it. It's unit from a spread shop, and it's gonna take you to this page. Right now, you got 4 days to get free standard shipping. If there's a specific item you want, per se, just, you know, inbox me and I'll see if I can drop the price, because some of this is really expensive and then others isn't. But the sweatshirt is the seller, the t-shirts, hats, I have mugs, and yep, there's the mugs and more gear and bags and everything. But this is my merch shop, so feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, concerns. I can work with them to drop prices on things. But yep, thank you for checking out the video. And also, my sponsor shop is PG Unlimited. It's basically the same thing. You hit shop now and it'll take you to you get a choice of Pit Girl Racing or Toka Girls, and then it's the same thing. It'll give you t-shirts or sweatshirts of that apparel that you choose. And that's my sponsor right now. But thank you guys for checking out the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Stanley Parable. I have no idea what to expect from this game, other than I was told to get it, that it is a really good game. And so I got it because it went on sale on Steam, so I figured I would grab it, and it's all set and ready to go. And I don't know when it will be uploaded. I will try my best to get it uploaded as soon as possible, because my work schedule is it's consecutive every week, so I will record when I can and upload when I can. So that's what I'm doing right now. But I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into it. The weird things in the menu? Nope. Okay, cool. I played those games where you click the button in the menu and it'll do things in the background and such. End is never the end. It's never the end. It's never the end. I read that this was a consecutive game, that it was an infinite game, but there were ways to get out of the infinite loop and check out other things, and that the narrator doesn't like when you do things against what he is telling you to do. So, if he tells us don't do something, I'm more than likely going to do it, just to see what will happen. I don't know when this game came out, but it would be worth it to check it right now as to when it came out. Which was in...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
2013.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 4227 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I don't know.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions. call a meeting or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Just wanted to let you guys know, I don't know why the audio keeps skipping. I don't know if that's normal or if it's supposed to be like that, but I will look into it and try and figure out why the audio keeps skipping. But while that's a thing on the board, we'll check on this. Oh wow. Super fast and sensitive. I wonder if I can make the screen bigger. Let's see if we can do that. Make the screen bigger. Oh, it did. Look at that. Okay, so the screen's bigger. That's a lot better. I guess it's one of those exploring games.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Just shut his computer off. Sorry, dude. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. That's a nice picture.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office,
Yes, I
but it
did.
didn't make a single difference,
Get rid of it.
nor did it advance the story in any way. Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
I wonder if I click on everything if he'll just keep repeating it, being upset about it. That looks like a meeting room, but I guess I can't do it. It's wired up.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I don't like me going in the opposite direction. That's interesting. No, I didn't believe it.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Drinking it all in. Clever. Clever girl.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Absolutely. I have a coffee pot just like this at work. I actually brought it
At
in.
this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why, but at last he'd had enough of the amazing room. and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Anyways, I had a... Oh, that's weird. I had a... brought in a coffee pot just like the one in the break room. Ever since the first day I brought it in, we've been brewing coffee.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Directions. Gotta explore. There's got to be something hidden in this room, or this building, rather. That's a big warehouse. I'm getting prop hunt. It's prop hunt? Yeah, I think so. Is that like hide and go seek game that you can play in Gary's mod? That's what we get flashbacks of. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. That is awesome. The fact that they would put that sign there clearly means that somebody else has done it. Oh my god. And a penalty for misuse of it is 1,000, and penalty of jumping off the lift is $5,000. Even though it causes death, you still have to pay for it. Wow.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Guess I don't have a choice because I have bonus.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
Hello.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
What?
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
That's cute on your keyboard. Maybe I don't want. I guess I don't want.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
What happens if I choose a different key? Oh, that's not like that.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
This reminds me of BioShock Infinite.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Don't do it, huh? So how long can I sit here yelling at me? Alright, this doesn't matter.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. else. Using slides to assure employee that everything is okay. You sure about that? Everyone is unique. You most. Okay, well. Number of slides. Can I go out the way? The broom closet opened. Oh, is this the closet?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing
forever.
here, so he turned around and got back on track.
So, how long can I stand in this without?
There was nothing here.
Yep, there we
No
go.
choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I feel like there's something in here if he's telling me that there's nothing here though.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Can I keep staying in here with him getting
You
upset?
do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Second. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus?
Oh,
Look,
this guy is
you can hammer out the
hilarious.
details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Alright, I'm out in the hallway. You gonna say anything? Yes, no? What if I go back in the closet? You gonna yell at me? No, okay. Well, I guess that's that. I pissed him off. That's why, but the next time we come back, we'll go in there. We'll see.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
guess I probably should. Probably should, but that would be nice up here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Man, I don't trust that either.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. I don't know how I feel about that.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I don't see him on those monitors, that's the thing.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad, or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Alright, can't turn it online. I don't know how to... Disable that. Oh wait, can I go?
And when at last he found the source,
Turn it off.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Probably not.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
No.
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Wow. Alright, so that's one ending. There's gotta be multiple endings. Exactly. That's what I thought.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, so we got one, the happiness ending, but we're gonna end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Actually, someone told me that if I quit to the menu and then come back in, that I get told something. So we're gonna quit, and then we're gonna go back into the game. Let's see what it says.
This
Oh, see, look, we're in a different office. Maybe I wasn't supposed to skip that. So what if we go to the menu and we go back to the game?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where...
Never mind. Just complete repeat of that. Okay. Well, at least now we know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Leave a like and a comment below, and we will definitely continue this. And I will see you in the next. Bye!